Even many of the hard-working immigrants who came in small numbers in the 50s are also voting BNP because they want their children to have a decent future too, and they know that the BNP is the best party to vote for.
That if the British people don't wake up, they'll get blown up. It's a very serious message, and I appeal to them to take note. Tomorrow can be too late. For all those worked in World Trade Center towers, it was too late when the government of America realized, oh my God, they were among us. So British people realized after 7th of July, oh my God, they were among us. And what if they are among us now? Should we not make efforts to find out and take preventive measures, not rash, but considered, and taking the public along with these views and these arguments, and with proof from history, from current affairs, from modern life as well. So I have an appeal to British people now. Look, we are minorities in your care, in a way. Because we have come from our own homelands, which was set on fire by Islam. And we came here for refuge and for safety. So please remember that the peace and prosperity of this country depends on the majority community, which are you, Anglo-Saxons and other British people. So I repeat, peace and prosperity of this country depends on this majority community dominating this territory in a virile and manly manner. The moment the slightest sign of weakness, you will create a power vacuum, and you know what you will suck in. India knows what they sucked in. Because the power vacuum, 1/3 of India got blown off on one day, 15th of August 1947. And people don't have the guts now even to nominate a day.
I shine bright with spilled tears, thinking about all those wasted years. Everything worth living for is gone, and brother, I find it hard to keep fighting on. Falling down towards the abyss, the abyss. The Reaper embraces me with his kiss. I refuse to care, to watch this sort of hope too much to bear. If this is the way it is, if this is the way my race ends, if this is the way it ends, I can't bear to witness. Disease encroaching all our years.
If everybody around here who says they support the British National Party and want to see a change vote for Paul Hindley in the election, he'll win by a landslide, and you'll have an honest, decent, local man there to represent you and sort things out in Ashton Town Hall. But too often people stay at home and leave it to somebody else. If you stay at home and don't vote the way that you know everyone around here wants to vote, then nothing will change. The Labour Party will get in, and all the money that's taken in taxes from this area will continue to be spent in various ethnic minority projects instead of being spent here where it's needed. So this is your chance. Get out there please and vote for Paul Hindley. If you've agreed with this DVD, show it to your friends. Talk about it, encouraging them to vote as well. These elections can be won or lost on 3 or 4 votes. Your vote can make all the difference. So please get out there and vote for Paul Hindley, British National Party.
When you listen to the news, all the other politicians are only interested in promoting minorities. Well, we are different. We believe it's a majority that counts. Every week I hear one or more local businesses being closed down because of European bureaucrats who know nothing about real life. The same bureaucrats give us a human rights legislation which protects the burglars instead of the homeowners. Well, we in the British National Party believe it should be the other way round. Local British jobs are being lost to the Far East, and this isn't any good for our local economy. As a councillor, I will push to reduce taxes for local businesses, which should help to strengthen local employment.
Hello, I'm David Jones, and I'm a personal friend of Paul Hindley, who is the candidate for Stalybridge North. I've known him for quite a while, and he will be a good candidate and a good man to serve the people of Tameside. We're here at Tameside General Hospital because this is a hospital which is threatened with its neonatal facilities being closed. We have already gone on record, both myself and Paul, as opposing the closures of any neonatal facilities, not just in Tameside, but also in Wigan, Elmston or Manchester. Although we hope Tameside Hospital retains its facilities, we do not like the current situation where we are having to fight hospital against hospital, area against area, town against town, with only one town winning out with a neonatal and maternity facility.
Have a look at some of the horror stories our BNP councillors have had to deal with because Labour were too busy spending your money on these foreigners. Don't let Labour put you to the back of the queue any longer.
Hello, I'm Councillor for Barnbrook of the British National Party of Birmingham Council. I'm here with a tenant that's had her flat flooded. The lady's name is Paulette Reynolds, and I'd like to ask her how long this has been going on for and the circumstances which brought her to get in contact with us over her own councillor, Val Rush. Paulette, could you explain to me the problems that's been occurring inside your flat?
Yes, I've had many floods since we took the tenancy in 2003. We started off with boiling water and stuff coming through the bathroom. My little girl was only crawling then. We've had many floods in the kitchen through ceilings and electrics, but my worst flood so far was February 2006 this year. We had water constantly from 11:30 on the 3rd of February. I spoke to the council several times. They told me their hands were tied. There was not much more they could do because they couldn't do the work in the premises upstairs. By this time as well, the water had started going into my toilet, my bathroom and down my little girl's bedroom wall.
Could you tell me now, how old is your daughter when this last flood, how old was your daughter when this last flood occurred?
She was only 3.
Thank you very much. Right.
By this time I'd had really enough. So the middle of February I actually went and see my councillor, Val Rush. Yeah. She kept telling me that there was things that they had to tread carefully. Right. Because of obviously the people upstairs are coloured people. At some stages I phoned her at 10 o'clock in the evening and said to her, Val, the water's coming through, I can't get hold of the council repairmen because they're telling me their hands are tied because they can't gain the access upstairs. She would always say to me, oh, don't worry Paulette, I'll follow it up for you and stuff like that. And then one day I phoned her and I said to her, have you heard anything, Val? And she turned around and she said, I told you I'd phone you. I actually handed over a copy of a medical letter that my doctor had wrote, which was the second letter.
Could you explain to me what this letter was about? What was the doctor's what was your complaint the doctor wrote on your behalf to the council?
Basically, because of the water, I was on the verge of a nervous breakdown.
All right.
But nobody wanted to help me.
Oh, that's okay, that's all right. And you also mentioned to me earlier about your daughter, about the fact that she refused or didn't want to come in. Could you elaborate a bit more on that, please?
Yeah, it got to a stage after the fire brigade that my daughter didn't want to come home. She actually stayed with a neighbour for a week. I just visited her there. They sort of got her ready for school. I'd take her to school. I'd come home and see her for a little while.
Also, I believe these flats in this sort of low-rise tower block are actually 2-bedroom flats. Yeah. How many people are actually living above you?
8.
8 people?
Yeah.
Well, that is disgusting. It seems quite obvious here that the local councillor is not willing to actually assist their electorate. And the other aspect is 8 people in a 2-bedroom flat apparently throwing water over each other to bathe themselves and flooding out electricals down below. This is just nonsense. Once again, it's a simple situation of Birmingham Council's Labour-run council is simply putting the indigenous people here at the back of the queue.
We are now in the home of John and Teresa Oates. John and Teresa, you moved here 5 years ago.
That's correct, yeah.
And I understand you've been having some terrible problems with ants and damp.
Yeah.
Would you like to tell me what Birmingham City Council have done for you regarding the ants?
Nothing.
They've done absolutely nothing.
You think so?
They've offered no advice and no help.
No advice, no help.
No.
And what happens when these ants come into your house?
They overrun us. To be
Literally overrun you.
I've got them in every room.
They're all up the walls.
Yeah, it's like a horror film. I wish I could exaggerate.